Hi guys, it's Majo John Juanito from the U.S. I thought it was high time you got to see my face and hear my voice from the U.S. And today is the day I was supposed to get and have gotten serious about getting medical treatment in the U.S. I arrived on Friday, then did stuff on Saturday and Sunday. But today's the day I was going to walk into Carolina Internal Medicine, my old doctor, and walk in their walk-in clinic and get started there. Well, my rude awakening was that they had discharged me after 2 years and are all full up, and my dreams of going back to my old doctor were unfulfilled. Now, he wasn't great. He was good. But he was kind of a classic American doctor who would stand in the doorway for fear he would blow too many of his billable hours. He wouldn't really sit and visit with you. I relied on his nurses' assistants and PAs to do that. So their Wi-Fi was down and I was out of minutes, so I couldn't get Uber to give me a ride down to Mayhack, which is the other big medical outfit here. There's a lot of medical training, and they said they are taking new patients. It's about a half a mile down the road. So I walked down the road, and I arrived here just for the tropics. So I had shorts and chanclas on, and it was cold. It was rainy and cold. I've been freezing the whole time I've been here. And it was really like a forced march. It was a dangerous walk. There were no sidewalks. It really was a road that's not pedestrian friendly. And I just did and wore myself out. And I was going to be fasting. I wanted to do fasting in case they wanted blood work. But I gave that up. I was freezing. I got a cup of coffee. And then I got lost trying to get into Mayhack. I got into the hotel, which is next door, which happened to be, what are the cookies? The famous, as a traveler, the famous hotel that gave out warm chocolate cookies in the afternoon. Well, whatever is that hotel. So I got a chocolate chip cookie and another cup of coffee. So that was my breakfast until 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Then I walked up this huge hill to get to Mayhack. It's way up on the hill, and we're in the mountains here. And so ridiculous that someone sent a van down, an official van came down to pick me up and said, there are reports about this crazy old man trying to walk up this hill. So, and it was crazy. It was really a very steep hill. Well, they were not taking new people. No, they were not taking new people. So I went to Sisters of Mercy Urgent Care, which is another place I've used a lot in Nashville, and they said, "Hon, you need to be in the hospital," which is what I knew all along. The last thing, the greeting that they sent me off from Mexico was go into the hospital. First thing you do, get in the hospital. And I was excited all night. I didn't sleep all last night because I thought, tomorrow we get going. They'll get me in the hospital. We'll find out what's going on, because 2 months, I've seen so clearly the real trauma of those 2 months was not only the pain, not only the confusion, not only the desperately terrible hospital. It was not knowing. I had no data. They never got a CAT scan. Never got a CAT scan because theirs was broken at the Bio General. So today, when I arrived at Mission Hospital, and I have stuff I'm overrunning because my last trip here was terrible. That's the infamous trip where I've been smashed in the face and had a concussion and a broken nose. But I had a history of psych, so they locked me up on the psych ward, and there are many stories about that. So I had to face all that, like, oh, that's the spot where that happened. That spot where it's not happening now. And that the hospital was terribly traumatized back then. It was right in the middle of the nurses' strike. The nurses were angry at the hospital. It was the COVID. The hospital was in bad shape. And I had to keep saying, this is not that, this is not that, and it's not that. And everybody's treated me really nice, and I got a wonderful doctor, PA, in the emergency room who introduced herself as Maisie. And I said, "You're ordering stuff. You're a doctor." She says, "Well, I'm a PA." And she's somehow awkward about being called a doctor, but she's a physician assistant. She's a doctor to me. They're my preferred doctors, actually. Physician assistant and nursing, nurse practitioner. But anyway, she took charge. I had not gotten a CAT scan in 2 months at the hospital. She got me one this afternoon. And it said, no signs of metastatic cancer. You're not being eaten alive by cancer. Basically, she said, I don't know why that guy in Mexico told you were dying. I see no signs that you are dying. Now, the stuff on your prostate, maybe they'll say that. But all I don't see lesions on the prostate. I don't see signs that it's metastasized. So they're actually going to get a urologist in here in the morning to get going on that, to find out about that. But she said, I see no reasons why they told you you were dying. I think you ought to let go of that. And I've been working hard at letting go of it, but still believing it. And I cried. I cried a lot this afternoon. Like, well, there's urinary tract infection. There's this. There is a little knob on the kidney, which could be cancerous, but not super threatening. There's no reason to walk around thinking that you're a short timer on the planet. And I just cried and cried and cried and cried and cried. Got my money's worth out of that. And then she discharged me, which I was a little, part of me was saying, stay in the ER, get them to take care of you. But I embraced that. And I was going to have the outpatient with the urologist and get a primary doc through them also. But by the time I got my Uber and got to the hostel, there was messages for me because the address I'm using is Danielle and Mars, where I stayed the first couple nights. They had an ambulance show up at their door saying, on second thought, we thought we shouldn't release him. There's something in his blood work we don't like. They said, well, he's not here. And they mentioned the hostel. So they said they want you to call 911 and see if you should go to the hospital. So I called them and I said, no, I'm at the hostel. I'm really comfortable. They said, well, one of your levels is up and they're worried that you won't function well. I said, no, I think I'm all right. Then I got off the phone and realized I wasn't all right. I was really dizzy and disoriented. So I called 911 and had them pick me up. So now I'm back in the hospital and a really good doctor. And he says, well, your sodium was way up and it's not life-threatening, but it could mean you behave silly and you'll be disoriented. So he says, we want to take care of that. So they're taking super good care of me. So many smart people. It's all computerized. They all talk to each other. I am in the hands of a really good system where they're not going to leave any stone unturned. We'll find out what's going on. And it's a tremendous reassurance, and it's why I came here. And, yeah, they all know that all I have is Medicare, and that's all they need. They will send me bills. I probably won't pay them. Or maybe I'll do a payment. I don't know. We'll see. But I'm getting cared. I'm happy. And I have friends all around me who speak English. Tom will come visit me tomorrow. Other people may visit. It was a good idea. I'm glad I'm here.